previously on Gearz.
With great pleasure that we welcome into the studio the 2009 Dakar champion and hopefully the 2013 Dakar champion as well. The one and only Giniel de Villiers. Giniel, it's great to have you on Gearz. Thanks for coming. I know you're a very busy guy.
Thanks, nice being here.
Yeah, it is great. I wanted, you've been competing the Dakar for a long time now. 2005, 2006?
Yeah, it's my first one was in 2003.
Okay.
It's basically my 10th time that I'll be doing it now. I can't believe the time went by so quickly, but yeah, I've had one win, like you said, in 2009, and hopefully we can get another win this year for Toyota. So things are looking good. We did a lot of testing, and let's see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll talk about all of the testing and Toyota and the South African involvement, because, when you won, you were with an international concern. You were with VW at the time. And how did that feel? Because this is the most grueling cross-country race in the world. Huge respect to anybody who just takes part in it. I think even those people who just follow it on TV.
No, it is the most grueling race in the world. And I've been involved in a lot of forms of motorsport. In track racing before, and then I did some rallying and stuff. But to do that race, which is 15 days long, and to go on to do well, to try and win that race is really something out of this world. And it takes a lot out of you. There's so many things that need to go your way. You need a lot of luck. You need a brilliant team behind you.
Sure.
All the technicians have got to, put in their part. Everybody's got to make sure all the nuts and bolts are tight every single day. Navigators have got to do a good job. As driver, you've got to do a perfect job, for 14 days in a row, and you got to avoid all the pitfalls and things that you get along the route of the Dakar. And if all goes your way, at the end of the day, you win it. But it's certainly the most difficult race in the world to try and win.
No, listen, I can imagine after I've been watching it for years. It just seems an extraordinary test of man, machine, and I suppose mental capacity. You've raced Africa, sort of Paris, Dakar, and now you're racing Dakar, South America. How was the change moving from the one to the other? Because it's not as though you're going around a circuit. You're going through vast masses of land and many, many countries.
No, look, a lot of people ask me with that question, how different is Argentina and Chile and Peru to Africa. Last race I did in Africa was in 2007. We were actually leading the race by 32 minutes, and then we had a mechanical problem. It was a pity back then. But anyway, the difference for me between the two countries is the challenge of the race is still the same in South America, which is good and which is the most important thing. In Africa, you probably have a bit more open spaces, more vast expanses of sand in Mauritania and those places. But in South America, again, you have added difficulty of altitude. We cross at heights of 4,900 meters. So that's quite hard on man and on machine.
And on machine, yeah.
It's not easy to get the engines right at all those different altitudes. That's important. And the nice thing about South America is that, for example, last year along the whole route we had more than 5 million people following the race.
Wow.
They virtually line the roads from start to finish.
Amazing.
And it's just a great atmosphere, and it's wonderful to race there.
So I don't think I could do that, because in South America, if you go through Argentina and Chile and Peru, I'd want to stop and go see the Incas and the Aztecs, and I'd need a few months. I wouldn't be able to do it in 15 days.
Yeah, there's lots to see, but unfortunately, we got to do the race,
Now, listen, before we talk about Toyota and specifically, I want to talk about last year and then, of course, this year. Two of your major contenders. You've got the Peter Hansels of the world, but you've got Nasser Ali Attiyah and Carlos Sainz. They teaming up together, but it's not a factory, or it's not. I wouldn't say a factory car. It's not a name brand. They're going in what they call it, a California-built buggy. Do you know anything about this?
I watched the sort of the trailer they had of it that they made yesterday. They sponsored by Red Bull and Qatar. But I think it was Nasser's idea. He was with Robbie Gordon last year in one of the Hummers, and obviously he saw some potential in this buggy class, and he went and put up his own team. And Carlos was very keen to drive in the Dakar again. Even he phoned me after the Dakar last year and said, don't we have a seat for him? It bugged him to sit at home and watch the race on television.
I can imagine, yeah.
So, I think it makes a lot of sense for him as well to go to that team which is not linked to a manufacturer, because he's of course still an advisor for VW at the moment. So
Yeah.
it's very exciting for the Dakar to have the two of them there again. They're both very quick drivers.
Are they in the same class as you, though?
They're not in the same class, but
Okay.
they're also competing for overall victory.
Yeah,
So
sure.
I expect them to be very, very quick in the beginning, but I have to say it's a new team. It's built by a team in California that has never built Dakar cars before. They've only built cars for the Baja 1000 and those kinds of things. Dakar's a little bit different, so I would be surprised if they have very good reliability throughout the race, but they will certainly be very, very quick in the beginning, and I expect them to win a couple of stages.
All right, so listen, it's going to be interesting to watch them as well. So in your category, your class, Toyota, last year it was the first entry and a South African entry, which was terrific. So they must have lured you with one hell of an offer to come, from European teams and European money to come and to race back for South African team.
Look, I mean, I raced for VW for 6 years, and in that time I did a lot of traveling. I spent more than 200 days out the country, and it was great.
Great for tax.
While it lasted, and for tax, as you say. But no, it was really great to team up with a truly South African team.
Yeah.
I raced for Glenn Hall, who runs the Toyota Motorsport operation back in touring cars in the 90s. So it was great to team up with them, and it's nice to do something with a purely South African effort behind it. And last year we've managed to finish third, and it gives me great pleasure to just to be able to show the world that in South Africa we also got the engineering skills
For
and
sure.
the expertise here to compete with the best in the world. And that's why it's sort of given me extra motivation and drive to try and do well in the Hilux, in the Toyota Hilux. So we're working very, very hard to try and make that happen, and nothing would please me more that if we as a South African team can go and win this race.
Well, I mean, listen, I think you've got the ingredients, as you say, the hard work. You've won it, you know how to win it, which is very important. The last year, I mean, fortunately, we get all of the, we get the packages here on TV. So, I mean, we're always following your progress. But last year, was it more of a sort of a finder? Let's go as quick as we can, but let's actually just get reliability. Let's finish it so that at the end of it we can look to see, okay, where can we improve to make sure the following year, meaning this one coming up, we can actually go quicker and go for the title.
Look, I mean, last year it was a big unknown for the team with a Toyota Hilux, to go there for the first time. I mean, we didn't know how the car would fare in those conditions. So, like you rightly said, it was a bit of a feeler year. Obviously, I mean, if you enter the race, you want to try and do as well as you can. So, I mean, we were trying to run at a pace where we could, be up there with the top guys, and obviously trying to see where we were in terms of performance. And I think we surprised ourselves. We actually we did a lot better than we thought we would do. I mean, getting on the podium was absolutely like a win for us.
Superb.
So the first year, and we've learned a lot. The team have learned a lot, and we've applied it to this year's car, the development of this year's car. So, we know a lot more now, and we know what the car can take. So hopefully we can, we can go in with a bit more of a sort of a attacking mindset this time around. So,
so looking forward to it. Now, I believe there's 6 Toyota Hiluxes, but how many are South African, and who are the guys who are sort of supporting around you?
Well, I mean, myself and Dirk von Sitzewis, my navigator, will be driving the one South African car, and then Duncan Vos and Rob Howie will be driving the other one.
Great.
And then there's the other 4 that you spoke about, which are being campaigned by the Overdrive team from Belgium with different drivers as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the great thing, I mean, you and Duncan also, I mean, you've got a tremendous history going back to touring cars and those kind of things. So, I mean, as much as you competitors, you both know what the ultimate goal is.
Absolutely. We raced together in touring cars, and It's nice to be back racing with Duncan. Last year it was his first year in the Dakar, so it was quite an eye opener for him.
I'm sure.
It's a special race, like I said. So I expect him. He learned a lot last year, and he drove a brilliant race to finish in 10th place. And I think this year he'll be right up there with us and be very strong. And I think we have a good team put together for this year, and I think we'll be in a good position.
Now, Giniel, the Dakar only comes once a year. So what are your plans also? I mean, you're going to win this one and then take a little bit of a holiday. What do you do for the rest of the time?
Well, hopefully we can go and win it. It's never sure to say in this type of game, but no, if it's finished, I mean, obviously there's a lot of testing and stuff that goes on beforehand that people don't always know about. So we do a tremendous amount of testing and preparation work to get everything together for the Dakar. But this year, in my other spare time, I took part in the South African Rally Championship. It's just something that I've never done before. I've done track racing, I've done off-road racing now, and it's just something that interests me, and I think it can help me, in the Dakar as well, when you get rally type stages, just to work on your absolute speed on rally type stages and things like that, which we do have about 20% of in the Dakar. So hopefully it helps me, and it's just something that keeps you sharp throughout the year. So we'll see, depending on the budget. Hopefully we can do a bit more driving next year.
Let's hope so. Well, listen, we're definitely going to follow your progress in Dakar 2012, 2013. We wish you all of the best, and to Toyota, Glyn, and the whole team as well. Let's bring it back home again. Your second one, I think, will even be sweeter.
I hope so. No, it'll be great, if we can go and win the race. And like I said, if we can do it with this South African team, there's nothing more in the world that'll please me as that. So thanks for your support, and let's see what happens.
Yeah, anytime at all. Giniel de Villiers, 2009 Dakar winner, hopefully 2013 Dakar winner with the homemade Toyota Hilux. And of course, we'll keep you updated. Follow all of the stages, of course, on television as well. Thanks, Giniel. Wish you all of the best. Thanks very much for coming through. I know you're a very, very busy guy. Wish you a safe journey over there, and then, of course, a terrific Dakar. Thank you.
At the next intersection, turn on Gearz with Sasha Martinengo. Weekdays from 12 to 2 p.m. Central African Time.